this Wiser Joomla video, we're going to continue on with part 2 of hosting options for a Joomla website. Now, it's fair to say that Joomla has reached the point now where it can be considered and is often used as a corporate industrial strength website. And what this means is that the Joomla sites will be taking on the kind of traffic and the kind of software burden that major sites built in Ruby on Rails or other systems formerly were known for. Thus, if we look at hosting, we have to take a little bit of a different view on it, because most of the hosting companies that the smaller websites use really can only take you as far as, let's say, a dedicated server. And even in that situation, you might want to consider distributing your Joomla website out over more than one machine. So you could take a company like HostGator or HostMonster or any of those kind of standard, well-known hosting companies, and you could begin to separate out the various elements of your Joomla site so that you might have your MySQL database running on one server, and you may have your Joomla files running on another one, and then you may have storage for your videos on another. And this way it kind of lightens the load and it increases your speed, and it gives you more flexibility so that you can run a much faster and much more highly visited website with more traffic. But you can go even beyond that. And in this realm, we're talking about cloud computing and major hosting companies that are set up in order to manage major corporations' websites. So I'll go to a couple of these sites and show you. One that is very well known is called Rackspace. Rackspace offers arguably some of the best hardware, one of the strongest networks, and their client list is top Fortune 500 companies. But they do offer hosting programs or options for companies that are not quite so big. They're affordable, but you know that with Rackspace you're going to be able to grow. So they actually offer cloud servers, they offer cloud files, and the thing to know about cloud hosting and cloud computing in general, this is how Google operates. Basically, it's taking your resources, your systems, and spreading them out over many computers distributed over geographical locations. So rather than putting your website entirely on one box or two or three, we're talking about many servers that are all networked together. And what's nice about cloud computing, and we can take a look at Amazon as an excellent example, is that the elastic cloud, really that's the key word, elastic. You can host a very small normal Joomla website with Amazon, and instead of paying $20 a month or $50 a month, it's actually metered pricing. And this is very significant because as your demands increase on your website, as you use more and more disk space and bandwidth, they have a metered pricing option. So that means that you pay, let's say, 8 cents an hour for small usage, and it can go up, it can increase. So it's kind of use what you need, and you will be charged accordingly. So this is a very interesting option. It's kind of new to most people, and I think it's worthwhile looking at if you have the kind of site that you expect could reach the heights of something that could become the next YouTube or something like that. Other companies I want to bring up that are on this scale are, for instance, Media Temple. Media Temple has been around for a long time, and they specialize in supporting corporations in the entertainment industry. So if you know for a fact that you're going to do broadcasting of any sort on a national scale, companies like NBC and Sony and ABC and large well-known companies such as Volkswagen and Warner Brothers all use this service. And the reason for it is because this company uses the best hardware, the best networks. They virtually have teams of technicians that are kind of watching out for you. And obviously the pricing is going to closely match the level of quality and service that you're getting here. But this is something to keep in mind because, again, I always say, if you're making, the more money your website makes, the more money you're going to have to put in to making sure that you stay in uptime and reliable to your clients. Otherwise, you'll stop making money. So most of these companies that I'm mentioning here, they really do offer a range. It's not as if you only go to them once you've hit the big time. It's kind of when you know that you're approaching that point, and they offer some lower price points to enter in, and it's kind of just another scale of what I described in video 1 about HostGator, where they can scale you up. You can even see here on their website from $20 a month to $50 a month on up to $750 a month, and you can make that progressive climb from the lower end to the higher end over time. And so another website I'll mention, there's a couple of them. One is called Rockin. This is performance hosting specifically designed for Joomla and some other Drupal and WordPress. So they really specialize in business hosting, business level hosting for Joomla sites. And in fact, they are the official Joomla hosting for Joomla.org. And so, this may be another site to look at, another company to look at, because they do offer some more complex and sophisticated hosting options, and because they are so focused on Joomla and on the CMS environment, I think that they're probably a good call. And I'm just looking at their area code, and they're in Texas as well. So, they're, again, centrally located for a US-based business. And the other one is SiteGround. SiteGround has always been well known for a hosting company that specializes in Joomla and other CMSs, and I've noticed that SiteGround now actually offers cloud computing as well. So a lot of these companies have kind of grown with our industry, with Joomla, and offer you a much more heavy-duty industrial strength hosting option. So that's it. One more time, I will just go through the 6 S's, and then we'll close it out. The first S is system. What kind of a system that you're running on? Linux box with what type of hardware and software? The scalability. So again, being able to start out small and grow as your company grows to the levels of hosting that you will require over time. Speed, the performance that you require for your website and your visitors. The service, the level of customer service that's offered from your hosting company. The software, which is the ability to add software to your server environment to support your demands as your website grows. And finally, security, so that your customers and you yourself know that your systems will be secure and your customers will have the kind of privacy and security that they expect from you. And finally, the final note I'd like to make is that if your company is in a certain industry, such as the financial industry or the adult industry or gambling, you need to keep in mind that those industries and others are regulated by the government. So when you go to select your host, not only do you want to keep in mind all of the different factors that will support your Joomla site, but you also want to make sure that that company will keep you in compliance with those government regulations. So for instance, if you are a banking or a financial institution, there are companies which uniquely support those types of industries, and there are things such as SAS 70 compliance and so on. So whether it's an adult site or a banking site or a gambling site, where obviously you would want to be overseas and not in the United States, you definitely want to check for that first. And some people have actually told me that some of the companies that support the adult industry are actually some of the better hosting companies, because they are forced, in order to stay in business and keep their customers, to have a very high level of security, and they also support some video technologies that are very high end. So those are basics as far as that goes. And we hope that you'll do your own due diligence and really take the time and make sure that you make the right choice with hosting. And we're available at Wiser Joomla if you want to email us at info@wiserjoomla.com if you have any questions about this subject.